What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Friday, August 9th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 18:16 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East and from Ukraine. So, this afternoon, U.S. nuclear forces are on high alert for some reason. I don't know if it's related to Iran. I don't know if it's related to the situation in Ukraine and Russia. We do have some very serious things going on in Ukraine and Russia right now. So, apparently, last night there was some type of an explosion right next to a Russian nuclear power plant, the Kursk nuclear power plant. Apparently, there were missile fragments found right next to the Kursk nuclear power plant, according to a Russian diplomat. And the IAEA chief, Rafael Grossi, says he is monitoring the situation around the Kursk nuclear power plant and is urging both sides to show restraint. So, if you guys are not aware, the last 2 days, Ukraine has literally invaded Russia, and they are now just a few miles outside of the Kursk nuclear power plant, which is about 30 miles from the Ukraine border. And Ukraine is continuing to capture Russian territory in Kursk. They're seizing control of more and more towns every single day, and the Russians are having a hard time kicking them out. They started bombing their own towns to try to kick the Ukrainians out. Ukraine has seized control of a major natural gas metering station, which distributes natural gas to Europe from Russia. We also have some major breaking news coming in from Israel. So, CNN is reporting that the U.S. has released $3.5 billion to Israel to spend on weapons. Okay. So that is a lot of money, guys. $3.5 billion. So Israel's going to basically use that money to buy U.S. weapons, probably all those heavy bombs and different missiles that they're going to need for this upcoming war with Iran, which is what it seems like is going to happen. And we have some breaking news this evening that Iranian backed militias hit another U.S. airbase in Syria. They hit the Karab Algier base with kamikaze drones. And what you're looking at here is a live flight tracker, and you can see a presidential doomsday plane up in the air. And what's concerning about this one is that it was actually flying over the Gulf of Mexico, and it was so far out into the Gulf that it lost connection with the flight tracker. Okay, so it went dark off the coast of Corpus Christi. It was too far out for the flight tracker to pick up. It's very rare for a U.S. presidential doomsday plane to fly out into the Gulf of Mexico. And there was actually another one that was airborne earlier this afternoon. We also had several nuclear war command and control planes. There were also a bunch of emergency action messages transmitted, which are nuclear attack options. We also have some more sub hunting activity off the coast of Florida today. You can see a P-8 Poseidon sub hunter off the coast of Tampa. And then there's also an aerial refueler over here doing loops near the Everglades. So the hunt for Red October is still ongoing. Let me just show you guys what we had up in the air earlier this afternoon. And I was actually live covering this live, but here you can see two presidential doomsday planes, two B-52s, and there was also a U.S. Air Force VIP plane that went to Cheyenne Mountain, which is a doomsday bunker in Colorado Springs. Okay, so another Air Force VIP going to Colorado Springs. That is a big red flag, in addition to the doomsday plane going out into the Gulf, okay, spending the afternoon in the Gulf. So our nuclear forces are on very high alert. We also had a Cobra ball up in the air as well, and it was looping near Omaha, Nebraska all afternoon. And the Cobra balls detect ballistic missiles. Okay. So, very serious situation in the Middle East. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen with Iran and Israel. And the situation between Ukraine and Russia is continuing to escalate as well. Here we have a picture of a Ukrainian soldier with his armored vehicle right outside the village of Lubimovka. This was posted yesterday. And Lubimovka is literally just a few miles away from the Kursk nuclear power plant. And also, the city of Kursk is not far away from Lubimovka. And last night, we did a Google Earth field trip late night on the live stream, and we went to Kursk, and there's actually an FSB headquarters in Kursk. So if Ukraine closes in on Kursk, that's going to really put pressure on Russia. There's a lot of important bases in and around Kursk. You have the FSB headquarters there, or the regional FSB headquarters. You have an air defense brigade. You have some other radar facilities there. So Kursk is strategically important for Russia. And we are hearing reports that Ukrainian forces are massing in the Chernihiv region and also possibly Chernobyl. So it appears that Ukraine is opening up this new front by literally invading Russia. Okay. So this is absolutely huge and a big victory for Ukraine. And Putin already had an emergency meeting earlier this week about the situation. There's a state of emergency in the Kursk region right now. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing their most aggressive discount yet on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparedness.com. They've lowered the price of their 3-month food supply from $800 down to $500. 3 months of emergency food for $500. That is a really good deal, and it will last you 25 years because it is freeze dried and it's all packed within 6 rugged water resistant buckets. So you have all that food in a small package. You can store that pretty much anywhere. And you can also take it with you. If you have to bug out, you can throw that in your vehicle easily. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $300 off the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, $500 for it. Also, they have free shipping and handling included. In addition to the 3-month supply, they also have a general store. And to get to their general store, you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see the My Patriot Supply logo at the very bottom of the page. You click on that, and it'll take you to their general store, and they have all kinds of discounts. And to get the deals, you got to use my link, preparewithnyprepper.com, and I'll leave the link in the description below this video. I'm very concerned that Putin could use nuclear weapons now. We have to be on high alert. And apparently a Ukrainian drone blew up a power substation supplying electricity to the town of Kurchatov, which is where the Kursk nuclear power plant is located. So they hit this power station, substation actually, right where the nuclear power plant is, and they cut the power potentially to the power plant as well. And it's been reported that Ukraine breached the second line of defense in Kursk. And Russian sources are reporting that several more fresh Ukrainian brigades have been introduced to the Kursk assaults, and armored formations are already being seen near the front lines. Supply lines for moving deeper into Russia, working accurately from the Ukrainian side. Okay, so logistics and fresh brigades supplying the Ukrainians in Kursk. And Ukraine's action in the Kursk region corresponds to U.S. policy. According to Sabrina Singh, the deputy spokesperson of the Pentagon, we don't feel this is escalatory in any way. Ukraine is doing what it needs to be successful on the battlefield. And last night, Ukraine launched a successful and massive attack on the Lipetsk air base in Russia, which is 200 miles from the Ukraine border. The Ukrainian military is reporting that they completely destroyed the entire munitions storage at that base, along with electrical infrastructure and other targets. The local governor of the Lipetsk area issued a state of emergency, ordering evacuations of 4 surrounding villages, which included hundreds of homes. Caution, Lipetsk is subject to a massive drone attack, Governor Igor Artemov wrote on Telegram. Energy infrastructure was damaged, resulting in power outages, the governor added in a later statement. He also asked the residents of Lipetsk not to go out until the end of the announced alert. So, very serious, guys. And this attack on Lipetsk was part of a larger missile and drone attack on Russia last night. The Russian Ministry of Defense reported intercepting at least 75 Ukrainian drones that targeted several regions in Russia, including Belgorod, Lipetsk, Kursk, Bryansk, Voronezh, and Oryol, as well as Crimea. Okay, so multiple areas targeted by Ukraine. So this is very, very concerning. And here we have a picture of this U.S. base in Syria, the Karab Algier base that was attacked by drones today. So they're really asking for it. I mean, these proxies are really asking for the U.S. to annihilate them. And here we have some video footage that was posted by Iranian media, state media, and it says in this video, "O Zionists, the attack will begin in a few hours. Go to your shelters. We will not spare anyone this time." And they show all these ballistic missiles being launched, okay? So lots of propaganda going on. They're trying to scare Israel. They're trying to scare America. But little do they know, we have better equipment, better missiles, better jets, and we can totally annihilate them if we choose to, okay? And we're hearing some reports that dozens of Russian military personnel recently underwent training in Russia on the operation of Iranian short-range missiles. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know if that means that Iran is going to give Russia missiles, or if Russia is going to send its personnel to Iran to operate these missiles against Israel. And the U.S. State Department issued another security alert for Lebanon yesterday on Twitter. Okay, you can see this huge picture here, security alert. Says here, several airlines continue to suspend or cancel flights, and many flights have sold out. However, commercial transportation options to leave Lebanon remain available. Those wishing to depart Lebanon are encouraged to book any ticket available to them. U.S. citizens who choose not to depart Lebanon should prepare contingency plans for emergency situations and be prepared to shelter in place for an extended period of time. Okay, so this is serious, guys. Okay, they wouldn't put this out for no reason. A lot of people are saying, oh, nothing's going to happen, blah, 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 but they wouldn't put that out for no reason. Okay, so if you're one of those people that thinks this is a nothing burger, then, I really feel sorry for you. And Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin spoke with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Lloyd Austin confirmed the deployment of F-22s to the Middle East. He said, I called Israeli Minister of Defense Gallant today to brief him on U.S. force posture adjustments and reinforce my ironclad support for Israel's defense. The U.S. F-22 Raptors that arrived in the region today represent one of many efforts to deter aggression, defend Israel, and protect U.S. forces in the region. I also stressed the importance of concluding a ceasefire deal in Gaza that releases the hostages. Okay, so he's confirming the F-22s have arrived and that the U.S. will back up Israel. So this is very, very serious. And a senior Biden administration official stated earlier today that Iran has no legitimate basis whatsoever to launch a military attack against Israel. And a senior Biden administration official stated earlier today that Iran has no legitimate basis whatsoever to launch a military attack against Israel, but that the United States is prepared for any contingency in the region, whether that be defense, offense, or full-scale war, with the official further stating that Iran will face quite significant consequences if it decides to follow through with such a direct attack. Okay, so senior Biden administration official saying they have plans for defense, offense, or full scale war. Okay. So very serious, guys. And the Washington Post is reporting that U.S. officials believe that the assault this time could be more sudden, larger in scale, and longer, possibly lasting several days instead of several hours. It could also be a coordinated barrage from multiple directions involving Iranian proxies in Iraq, Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon. And according to the New York Times, Russia has delivered S-400 missiles to Iran, and Russian and Iranian military cargo and transport planes have been spotted heading towards Syria loaded with advanced weapons. And apparently, Israel struck one of these weapons shipments from either Russia or Iran the other day when they attacked the target in Homs in Syria. And the Pentagon has revised downward the number of U.S. personnel injured in the attack in Iraq earlier this week from 7 to 5. 3 of the injured personnel have been moved to Landstuhl Regional Medical Center in Germany. And Reuters is reporting that officials in Cyprus have announced that Cyprus is prepared to aid in the evacuation of Europeans and nationals from other countries if the conflict in the Middle East escalates. So, very interesting that the Pentagon would revise downward the number of personnel injured. Not surprised there. And Cyprus is prepared to help evacuate Europeans. And Israeli Channel 13 is reporting that Hezbollah will use a weapon against Israel it has not used before. And we're hearing that the IRGC has been placed on high alert. And here we have some footage coming out of Kursk region. This is in the town of Rilsk. And the Ukrainians destroyed a line of equipment, a bunch of artillery and tanks that were being moved on this road here. They destroyed them somehow. Not sure how, but you can see several vehicles there on fire. And then here we have a shot from Belgorod. There was some kind of a strike in Belgorod, and you can see the plume of smoke there. And then this is from that substation that the Ukrainians hit near the Kursk nuclear power plant. So for all we know, that nuclear power plant might not have electricity. And here we have some video footage of some Russian war correspondents that are right next to the Kursk nuclear power plant, and they're reporting that they heard some sirens. Okay, so let me just play this for you. It's in Russian. You might not understand it, but I'll play it anyway.
Слышим сейчас сигнал тревоги, просто пока снимали стендап, прозвучал хлопок, это скорее всего отработало ПВО и сбило очередную ракету, которая летела на АЭС, что в общем-то наблюдалось и накануне вечером.
So that's the nuclear power plant right across the river, and they're documenting everything, and the guy said he heard sirens.
Слышим сейчас сигнал тревоги, просто пока снимали стендап, прозвучал хлопок, это...
So very serious situation there. We had Italian Air Force C-130s fly to Beirut, probably to evacuate Italian citizens. Okay, 2 of them last night. And we had more C-17s go to Qatar from Germany, from Ramstein, probably moving weapons. And remember, guys, those F-22s are there in Qatar. Okay. So those F-22s could be used to take out those S-400s that Russia set up in Iran. Here we have a bunch of aerial refuelers off the coast of San Diego and Baja California last night. That exercise is ongoing off the coast of Baja California and also over northern Michigan. We've seen the same thing today, a lot of refuelers airborne. But I'm going to continue to monitor the situation. I will be continuing my 24/7 live stream, and I will be back later on tonight with another update. So check out my 24/7 live stream. If anything happens, I will jump on there and monitor the situation. I have the nuclear forces radios in the background. I have flight trackers and I have cameras, and come in and hang out, share information. But until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.